Okay, just going to get right off and started here. Did you know that adding phosphorus to your lawn as a fertilizer is against the law in most states? I'm sure a lot of you knew that, but new homeowners trying to start a lawn, watching these YouTube videos, and they hear, hey, if you're phosphorus deficient, add some phosphorus. Or just use some Milorganite. That's great stuff. Slow release, good fertilizer to use. And if you check your state and just type in what is the legal limit of phosphorus I could use, if you're in a liberal state, you're probably not going to be able to add phosphorus. Now, there will be exceptions. And I'm sure that everybody's going to use the excuse, oh, I'm reseeding, or I have damage, or I have a soil test that says I'm low in phosphorus. And that could be true. But do you really need to add phosphorus? Is phosphorus a really important nutrient to have in your lawn? Are you really phosphorus deficient? Are you using a My Soil test? My Soil tests, not the greatest. Ion exchange resin. Those tests are not accurate. They're not the greatest. And you know what? There's easier ways to get tests. Did you know that you could probably get a free soil test done at your local university exchange? I did a Google search, and sure enough, I get 5 free tests here in King County, Washington. And it's free. All I got to do is send a sample in or go drop it off. And they'll send it off and get it sampled at an actual lab that does actual soil testing with scientific measures. And I'll get an accurate soil test and find out if I am deficient in certain nutrients. My soil test, not the most accurate means of measuring the fertility of your soil, the pH of your soil. It could get it right every now and then, but it's not an actual scientifically proven method for having your soil tested. How many times have you heard adding humic and seaweed is going to prevent heat stress or help prevent heat stress? Or how many times have you heard the word prevent before potassium, adding potassium? All different sorts of things. Lots of people use these terms, prevent, and they don't do that at all. It's a scientific fact, proven by research, that adding humic acid and seaweed or sea kelp products to your lawn is not going to prevent any kind of heat stress. It's not going to help. Now, if your yard is actively suffering from heat stress, those products will help, but it's not going to prevent anything. Just like potassium, same thing. You can add it all you want. All you're going to do is probably promote an environment for disease and have more problems. There's all kinds of things that these YouTubers, really popular YouTubers, they promote, and they tell you things that you need to do and what you have to do. And they're just promoting products that they have available on their sites, whether they're promoting them because they're a sponsor or, whatever. I don't even know how all that works, but, whatever. Some people have their own stores and they're just trying to sell you products. You can listen to these guys, you can buy their products, you can spend all that money. But, I became suspect last year. When I started my lawn, and I wanted to, put my putting green in. I wanted to have really nice fairway grass. I wanted to cut it really short. I want the golf course look. I've always wanted that all my life. And I did a lot of research. And if I believed all the research that I read, I would not have this yard right now. All I heard was how difficult it is, how expensive it is, what a pain it is, how you're constantly going to be out there doing stuff. And I found it just the opposite. I actually enjoy it more. I will agree it can be a little expensive. A greenskeeper lawnmower is not cheap. And that was why I started this channel, me and my McLane. The McLane greenskeeper 20-inch, it will cut your putting green, your Bentgrass, or whatever kind of putting green you want to put in, to 3 millimeters. I have a custom roller on mine, and I can cut my putting green to 2 millimeters. You can see it right there. That's a 2.5-inch roller in the front. It's got a smaller diameter than the 2 7/8 roller that comes with the real mower. And because of that smaller roller, I can adjust this blade to cut all the way down to basically dirt level. So I'm just saying, there's lots of information out there that's just terrible. And I don't even know where these guys, get their info, or how they can just come out and so confidently spew out all this stuff that they spew. I mean, granted, 90% of what they say probably is true or will help. But if somebody's telling you you need 14 different products to take care of your yard and to have a nice yard, they're just misinforming you. I don't know if it's they want your money. I don't know what it is. But you don't need 14 different products to take care of your yard. I've said this before. I heard this on one guy's lawn channel, and he said you need 4 things. You need water. You need a little nitrogen. You need some weed control, and you need some pest control. That's basically all you need to do for grass. Grass is probably one of the most simple things to grow. And if you're deficient in phosphorus and potassium, you don't need to add it. If your yard is not showing signs of deficiencies in those products or those nutrients, you don't need to add it. It's fine. Grass grows with basically nitrogen. If you get a soil test and it tells you you're low on magnesium or boron or whatever, do you really need to add it? Probably not. You can probably get away with a perfectly healthy lawn, deficient in all these nutrients, and it's going to grow forever. It's going to look great. Me personally, I tried those. I don't even know how many products I was using. I think I had 6 different bottles of things, liquids I was spraying on my lawn once a month. And you know what? Hey, you put a lot of fertilizer on your lawn once a month, guess what? It's going to be really green. And it's going to take a lot of your green. It's going to take a lot of green out of your wallet to do it. And you don't need to. I've learned just using nitrogen and some iron for that nice green look, that's all I need. That's all I'm using. I stopped using all that stuff probably midsummer last year. And it was just basically I didn't have time to put it down. I stopped putting it down. I ran out of a product. I didn't get it. And then I realized my lawn was still looking great. I wasn't putting these products down. And I'm sure, there's lots of people out there that say, hey, you don't need to. And they're right. Grass is basically nutrient driven by nitrogen. And nitrogen supplies all the nutrients that your grass needs to grow green, strong, fast, and healthy. I like adding iron for the green color. I use liquid, and my lawn looks great. I mean, here I'm mowing it right here. This is February 23rd. I live in Washington, Western Washington. And, it was below freezing for, a few weeks. Really cold. The grass wasn't growing. And then we started getting some rain. The temperature started rising. And you know, I like to mow my lawn once a week at least. Even if it doesn't need to be mowed, I want to mow it. You know, my grass is really wet right here. Super wet. I mean, as I walk on it, it squishes. And I don't know. I don't have any issues with my lawn. Does my lawn look like it's suffering from anything? You know, I haven't put any nitrogen on it for quite a while. I know it's wintertime and it's barely growing, but, you know, as you saw when I first, you know, started this video, you know, the grass had a little bit of length to it. And, you know, at the end of this video, I'm going to have some putting. You know, this is cut at 2 millimeters, and I'm really not a golfer. You know, I mean, I have golf clubs, and I have, you know, I have a hole in the putting green. I have a flag. You know, I really like the golf course look. And so I go out there and putt every now and then. You know, my neighbors like it. You know, they want to put on it in the spring. You know, I just got the hole, so, you know, nobody's really come by because it's been rainy and wet. It's cold. You can see, you know, just even mowing right here. You know, the grass is caked all over my lawnmower. It's all over my wheels. It's clumping. You know, I mow my lawn all the time, my putting green, in the rain, when it's super wet. You know, I don't have any disease problems. I mean, I probably have a really thick layer of thatch in there because I haven't dethatched for probably 6 months. And it shows. I'll show you some close-ups after I'm done mowing here. And it has, you know, some dead grass and thatch in there. And I need to get it out. Still looks great. Still no disease. I do have a couple issues in a couple of spots on my lawn. I had a couple of renovation projects I did that, you know, I just wasn't patient enough. I did them at the wrong time of year. And then I mowed over them, and they just didn't turn out good. So, you know, I'm going to work on that come spring and get those areas, you know, fixed up. But I tried to extend my putting green out, and it just didn't happen. So I've raked it all up. I'm literally ripping it out as we speak. I've got some cut lines in. If you look at the top left corner there, I got some cut lines already in where I'm getting ready to pull the sod out. It's not sod, but I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to put it in my side yard and just let it grow over there. Here, you know, I'm just blowing off all the excess grass because I don't use a grass catcher, never use a grass catcher. And I'm just blowing it off to get the clumps out, you know, and just have it so there's not thick patches of cut grass on top of the lawn there. For the most part, as I mowed, I mean, I mowed it 4 times. You know, I might have mowed it twice up and down and twice sideways. You know, and that's kind of what I do. I mean, I haven't mowed for over 3 weeks. I think it's been almost a month. And I did this just before, you know, a big downpour. And it rained the night before, and it was really wet. It was really wet. And when I went out there today, Sunday, and did some putting, you know, you could hear the squish of the dirt and the water, you know, squishing around, you know. So I basically was just, you know, coming on to say, you know, you don't need to believe everything you hear on YouTube. I'm actually amazed. I've been doing a lot of studying and research on my own just because I just can't believe that you need to use all these different products on your lawn to have a good lawn. And I found out you don't. And I'm continuing to do research to disprove a lot of this stuff, you know, but look at that. That was a nice shot. Anyway, that's my lawn. That's my putting green. I've had it this is my 2nd season. I'm going on my 3rd season. I'm hoping to get it, my whole yard in shape this year. Well, I hope you got a little bit of good information out of my video. And I hope you enjoyed watching me mow the lawn there. And there you can see the grass is cut really short. You can see the dirt, and you can see the grass, the thatch. Have a great one. We'll see you next time.